like this game because it features little dwarfs. And
Evil dwarfs.
Evil dwarfs. Evil dwarfs. And a few elves. And the odd halfling, the odd lumbering orc, and a large bird thing as well. But apart from that, it's a fantastic game. I mean, I'm not really into the sword and sorcery feel. It's okay, but it's been done so many times. But this is a classic. It has so many features. It has the graphics, it has the playability, it has multiplayer, and it's just lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of fun. But not as fun as Rick's new show.
Friday, 6 o'clock.
Friday, 6
Virtual
o'clock.
Motorsport Extreme.
You get free money if you watch it. There have been so many hockey games spread across computer and console alike. In today's game, they're going to have to be pretty damn special to catch your eye. I mean, they're going to have to incorporate hot dog stands or Wurlitzer organs or something, but here's a fine attempt nevertheless. Damn realistic, damn fine graphics, and also increasingly violent. They seem more interested these days in simulating the fights in between games than the actual matches themselves. This is a profoundly unimpressive game. If I see one more hockey game on any PC or console near me, I will scream, and you don't want to hear me screaming because it's really piercing and nasty and high-pitched, and it's really, really unpleasant.
Like out of that film Carrie.
Without the pig's blood, I think, possibly. There you go. But anyway.
Smash windows and glasses.
Yes.
And go out with a jock.
Irish people normally. But the point is, this game is not a spectacular one. It has the same features as any other hockey game, and I mean, we've just seen it so many times before. If you like hockey, you will have bought a hockey game. You don't want another one unless you've lost it, say. But this game is not unusual in any way or form, and I think sports people should sit down and think and try just a little bit harder. Rick?
Well, football games are currently going through the same kind of wave where we see the same players and the same old games year after year after year. But it doesn't stop us buying them because, after all, we're a nation of football lovers. Ice hockey in England does not work so well. We haven't got the exposure of it. We don't watch it all the time. We don't even have our own proper teams. We've got Sheffield peoples and stuff, but not exactly. It's nowhere near the biggest sport in our country. Now, hockey games in America, of course, over here, sell in bucket loads. That's why every single publisher has to have one. It's very impressive, his old NHL power play, Virgin's attempt. Very impressive indeed. It's got the rendered graphics, it's got all the teams, it's got all the stats. The only problem is, we've seen it all before, and seeing as we're not so enthusiastic about it, I'm sorry, but I'll stick to all the ones that are clogging up your cupboards already.
There's a lot of sport on your new shower here, which is on Fridays at 6 o'clock.
Andy Collins is great.
He's great.
Oh, sorry, no, Andy Collins great.
Anyway, yeah, I'm out here with a few friends, and we're going to a really nice hotel with a lovely bar. Lovely, you'll like it, honestly. Hello, I'm Stuart Lower at the moment. Basically, she's a bit speechless at the moment. I don't know why, but now we have features.
Wedged in between Sony and Nintendo was the mighty Sega. We didn't even expect them to turn up, but they did in force. This is Lost World, the first ever platform game where you get to play a huge variety of different dinosaurs, and mightily impressive it's looking too. DreamWorks actually supplied all the CGI rendering of the dinosaurs themselves, and that's why it looks so slick. In fact, I can tell you now, it's looking better than the PlayStation version. The other big thing with conversions are the first-person perspective shooters, Duke Nukem 3D being the first. Now, if anybody out there can tell the difference between this and the PC version, you get a little bag of sweeties.
It's all well and good, Sega having an incredibly impressive array of titles here at E3, but without Sonic it seems kind of lost. Whereas he, of course, is a brand new Sonic game coming around November time, and that's Sonic R. Sonic R, think Mario Kart and Mario 64 combined and given a bit of the old Sonic team action.
You You see, Sonic Team actually designed the game, although it's actually programmed by Traveller's Tales, who did the original Sonic 3D. Now it moves very, very quickly, and this was only the 20% complete version. We're really looking forward to this one.
Of course, there's something else featuring Sonic on this stand as well. But it's not exactly a new game. Although this section of it looks very much like Sonic R, and this is done by the Sonic team themselves. This is really just a little browser for what is actually Sonic Jam, a collection of 4 of the old Sonic games. It's even got artwork, music and adverts from Japan on it. It's one for all the Sonic fans.
Especially if you're a Sonic fan that likes to play Mega Drive games on your Saturn, because that's essentially what you get. Although it has got that fantastic 3D section, and let me just guess, there will be a game coming soon. Also impressive was the 3rd in the series of the Panzer Dragoon. Although this time it's not just fly around a bit and shoot a few things, it's actually a role-playing game. Although unfortunately we can't hope to expect to see it until around Christmas time, mainly because there are over 10,000 of lines of Japanese yet to be converted into English.
Of course, this game needs no introduction. Of course, it's Quake. But it's Quake on the Sega Saturn, and that's mightily impressive. It's faster even than the PC version, especially if you've only got something like P90. I'm going to just get back to it. It's even got the blood still in it.
Now Sega's version of Quake will be the first conversion on any console to hit the streets. The N64 is lagging seriously behind, and the PlayStation 1, well, it's just looking ropey at the moment. And finally, Sega had a huge array of Sega PC titles, all their current console hits converted over to the PC, including Virtua Fighter 2, and it's looking a darn sight better than their conversion of Virtua Fighter. And of course they're doing a conversion of Virtual On, which is looking great too. But what all this proves is that Sega are certainly putting all their weight behind great software.
Thank you, Rick. Well, the Tiff Phantom's infatuation for Lara Croft has reached fever pitch. He's completely obsessed. He's wandering around this show with a small diamond ring in his back pocket. It's very sweet, but it's also terribly, terribly sad. I shouldn't be telling.
Campione! Campione! Footy fans, prepare to rejoice or retch, maybe! The newest version of the mighty Kickoff series is here. All the usual soccer features are available, with multiple cup options and terrific teams. But wait a minute! I'm getting some late-breaking news in from the dugout. The reviewers, they're lacing up their boots. They're getting ready. Yes, they're ready to kick off.
Kickoff 98. I mean, this is a week in which we've seen 3 separate football games. We've seen FIFA 98, we've seen Actress Soccer 2, and then Kickoff 98 comes along and just makes us all really cry with laughter, to be honest, because it's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Kickoff 97 was okay, and this is just an update of it. But Kickoff 97 had so many faults with it, and people pointed them out. So what do? You correct them. You make it better. And what you don't do is actually make it slightly worse, put it in a box and call it your uncle's monkey, because that's what it is.
It's really, really bad indeed. Your players look just like Matchstick Men. You know the little Matchstick Man that guy makes in Blade Runner and leaves in Deckard's house and he finally figures out he's a replicant or something along those lines? They look just like that. The graphics are absolutely appalling. It's not playable at all. You will, in frustration, hurl your keyboard out of the window, as one of the guys did here the other day, and he's gone down to court now. He's been charged, unfortunately. Don't let this happen to you. Stay well clear of this game.
The reviews, turn-up feature, such a seamless link. Isn't it wonderful, everybody? I tell you what, I don't know what tonight's feature is going to be about, ladies and gentlemen, but it's bound to be good. What I do know is earlier this week I tried to let Richard out of Big Boy's penthouse closet to do a feature on these here Dodgems. Unfortunately, he couldn't find the forward momentum to push the pedal. Total disaster it was, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind, whatever tonight's chosen subject is about, you can rely on the Big Boy. It's bound to be good. But only time will tell.
Held at the end of last year in Tokyo, the Nintendo Space Show revealed some of the latest games and technology. From the looks of it, some of this stuff should keep gamers busy well into '98. First up, we have the long-awaited Legend of Zelda. 12 years have passed since Zelda was first introduced in February '86. It appeared on the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy. Now it's time to meet the big-scale version on the N64. Like Mario 64, Mr. Miyamoto's development team have aimed to create a virtual world for you to explore. You venture through a fantasy world, collecting items and weapons in the usual Zelda manner. The bosses look huge and menacing. Many of them make Bowser from Super Mario 64 look like a pet turtle. Camera views switch to the most dramatic angle possible, and there is a lock-on feature, like in GoldenEye, so you can scan an enemy close up before eliminating them. But all you Zelda-hungry gamers are going to have to wait for a while because it isn't even released in Japan until March. Surreal graphics, wacky sound effects. Everybody's favourite green dinosaur, Yoshi, is in a new adventure. Even though the graphics are 2D, this won't affect the gameplay that many Nintendo gamers have treasured over the last few years. There are 6 different Yoshis. Each different one has his own food preferences. In order to complete each level, the goal is to eat 30 fruits. The gameplay is very similar to the SNES version. Thankfully though, this time around there's no annoying little baby to carry with you. Already available in Japan, all those gamers that want to do a little reptilian rampaging will be able to get their hands on this sometime in spring. This is F-Zero X, the successor to, yes, you guessed it, F-Zero, the 16-bit classic. The game runs at an incredible 60 frames per second and has 30 hover cars on the track at any one time. Options include the all-important 4-player mode. Tamagotchi World. There's not much we can say about this, apart from that it looks incredibly bizarre, and 4 players can experience its weirdness all at once. Banjo-Kazooie is a 3D platformer developed by Rare, the team famous for Diddy Kong and GoldenEye. The game would appear to be packed with fiendish puzzles and quirky little characters. Oh dear, could this be another wacky cartoon animal game character? Maybe it's proof of how viciously the wildlife barrel is being scraped. Now games designers are even exploiting fluffy little squirrels. This is Snowboarder. So far it's only 20% complete, so we won't be seeing it for quite a while. Players will be able to speed down the icy slopes on both skis and snowboards. There is a 2-player mode in the finished game. The release date is set for March '98 in Japan. And finally today we have another game in development from Mr. Miyamoto and his team. It's Jungle Emperor Leo.